Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank the ranking member, Mr. Pallone, for yielding and his leadership in the committee for all the work that he and his staff has done. I also want to thank my fellow Texan, Mr. Olson, for bringing this legislation to the floor. I want to thank my colleague, Representative Johnson, for introducing this bipartisan bill. Along with my friend Gene Green, also from Texas. In particular, the Dean, Mr. Barton. I want to thank Mr. Barton because back in December of 2015, Mr. Barton and I worked along with the team here to lift the ban on oil exports, and that has been a boom for not only Texas, but for the rest of the country. But today's legislation, Madam Speaker, deals with H.R. 4606, ensuring the Small-Scale LNG Certainty and Access Act. This bipartisan legislation codifies the Department of Energy's recent efforts to encourage the exports of small volumes of natural gas as countries in the Caribbean, Central America, South America look to the United States to meet their natural gas needs. Let me give you an example, a different type of country, Mexico. Mexico is getting a lot of natural gas from us and refined products. In fact, Mexico, the U.S. has a $8 billion surplus when it comes to natural gas that we're sending off. So we can also help our friends in the Caribbean and Central America and South America. We do the same thing. Bottom line is this means jobs. I have the Eagle Ford area, and I know about the jobs, whether they're at 60,000, 70,000 or more. Those are good jobs, and if we're able to export, we'll be able to create jobs also. And this is why it's important that we continue working with our former governor, Rick Perry, in the Energy Department to approve any application to import or export small amounts of LNG if there's no environmental reviews required. And that application waiting time will be reduced by several months. Those several months means jobs and means jobs. Right now, the U.S. is currently the world's largest producer of natural gas with trillions of cubic feet of recoverable natural gas. And again, if we work together, especially with Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, we will be the new Middle East of the world by sticking together and working together. So again, this bipartisan piece of legislation will benefit our economy, strengthen our ties with allies abroad, reduce our allies' reliance on Russian natural gas. And again, this is good for the country, and we need to support this bipartisan piece of legislation. So let's move this bill forward to that particular goal. And again, I want to thank all of y'all for working on this bipartisan piece of legislation. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time, Madam Speaker.